Welcome to 8.6 solving rational equation and inequalities. Today we're just going to focus mainly on solving rational equations. When it comes to solving rational equations, you need to remember all the techniques on how to factor and factoring in 8.1 and how to add and subtract fractions, rational expression from 8.2. It all comes together and it's going to be very helpful when it comes to solving rational equations. Let's start off with the first example we have here. We have 1 equal n minus 3 over 6n minus n minus 6 over n. Now at the moment, we have an equation where it equals to a whole number, a 1. So again, when you're solving a rational equation, we need to make sure that all parts are in fraction form so that we can properly identify our lowest common denominator, our LCD. So I'm going to rewrite it where 1 is going to be in the form of a fraction, meaning I'm going to put it over 1. Now you're going to look for your LCD based on the denominators you have here. So we have 6n in the middle fraction, and on the right fraction we have n. So we know that in our common denominator it's going to have n. So let me write my LCD here. So all the denominators are going to have n in it. In addition, the second fraction have a 6. So in the right fraction, it has an invisible 1. You can make 1 become 6 by multiplying by 6. So I'm going to say that 6 is going to be in LCD. So make sure to pay very close attention as I'm going through identifying the LCD process, because it does take a little bit of thought process to properly identify our LCD. So after you finish formulating your LCD, now it's just making sure all fraction has the same common denominator. So if the LCD is 6n, in my middle fraction, 6n is already the same, so I'm not going to mess with the middle fraction. I'm going to worry about the first fraction, the one on the left, and the one on the right. So what I'm going to do here is for the one on the left, if it's 1, in order to change 1 into 6n, I'm saying we're going to multiply by 6n. Now, since I'm multiplying to the denominator, I have to do it to the numerator. I'm going to put this in parentheses. Now, for the fraction on the right, it's n, and I'm just trying to get into 6n. So what I need to do is I'm simply going to multiply by 6 into the denominator. Therefore, I'm going to multiply by 6 in the numerator. In addition, I'm going to add my parentheses in the numerator and the parentheses and the fraction in the middle. So this one's going to have the same denominator. So let me write it out. It's going to be 6n times 1 over 6n equal n minus 3 over 6n minus n minus 6 times 6 over 6n. So it's going to be like that. Now, one great thing about solving a rational equation is the moment you have all fractions that are exactly the same denominator, like this, then we're just going to focus on the numerator. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to write down my numerator and ignore the denominator. So it's going to be 6n times 1 equal n minus 3 minus n minus 6 times 6. And then from there we can start solving for our variable n. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do 6n times 1, and over here I'm going to distribute my 6 first. So over here on the left side, 6n times 1 is just 6n equal. Now for this part, since I don't have anything to distribute, I'll just write what's inside and then ignore the parenthesis, write my minus, because I want to distribute my 6 first. So it's going to be 6 times n, 6n, 6 times negative 6, negative 36. And again, I still have my parenthesis. After that, I'm going to distribute my minus to the 6n and to the minus 36. So I'm still going to have 6n equal n minus 3. Here, minus to the positive 6n will be minus 6n. And the minus to the negative 36 will be plus 36. After that, on the right side, I have multiple n's and then multiple numbers. I want to combine like terms. So I want to have 6n equal n minus 6n will be negative 5n. And then negative 3 plus 36 will be positive 33. Now from that point, I'm going to get all my n's to the same side. So I'm going to cancel out negative 5n by adding 5n to both sides. This will be 11n equal, cancel out, and I'm left with 33. From there, to solve for n, I'm going to divide both sides by the number in front of it, which is 11. So I have 33 divided by 11, therefore n equals to 3. And that will be our final answer. Let me box that up. Now to review, solving for rational equation, you need to identify your LCD so that once you formulate your LCD, now you can do this necessary step to have all fraction common denominator. After all fraction have common denominator, then I simply just write the numerator and solve it as a regular equation. So again, once you have common denominator, meaning all fractions have the same denominator, we write just the numerator, ignore the denominator, and solve like a regular equation.